because the SAR is the special squad unit, robbery unit that was created in 1992 in the Nigerian police to curb down the rate of criminality and robbery in Nigeria. But this section of the police called the SAR, the special anti-unit robbery unit, has been criminalizing and brutalizing Nigerians over the years and collecting money. And the Nigerian youths came out on their numbers and celebrities that they must ban this unit called SAR. And the protest just recently, Mr. Moderator, has been very chaotic, and some people have died already, and the Nigerians are hitting the government that SAR must end. And the Nigerian government went for to create another unit called SWAT. And the people are not happy about that.
Coming back to it, actually, it will be one of our main topics today. Just to take you to other development, including the UB land saga, is still very much present.
The UB land saga, Mr. Moderator, that's something that we have been deliberating on. And I earlier said here that the UB land is very, very important for the University of Boya. I know that the UB land saga, as an issue with the Bulu people in the Bakweri land, they have a squabble between the University of Boya and the Bulu people. And the Bulu people are Cameroonians, let's be honest. And for issues of university expansion, I earlier said here that the university has the land title of that land. And I feel that the Supreme Court of the Republic of Cameroon gave that land to the University of Boya, and I still feel that government should look for another land to give to the Bulu people so that the university can continue to develop that land. If you look critically, Mr. Moderator, a lot has been destroyed in the university land in terms of agricultural land where students were doing their research, in terms of a foundation that was already up for the Faculty of Law and Political Science, and other facilities were destroyed in that land, Mr. Moderator. So we have to be serious because we feel that University of Boya has to expand, and we feel that it is the responsibility of the Bakwerians, the elites, the politicians of FACO to protect the land of university. Look at the CDC land, Mr. Njeuma Siri. People have come from outside, they have bought lands all over. So we think that we should hold the university land jealously. And we saw how the pioneer vice-chancellor of the University of Boya, Professor Njeuma, came out and said that the chiefs and the administration of Boya have been playing games. And she feels that it must stop because the land belongs to the university. And the Prime Minister, Chief Dr. John Gute, already said that no person should intrude in the land of the university. And with my voice here, as a lecturer of that same university, the University of Boya, I'm going to continue raising my voice to protect the university land, to see that the University of Boya grows to higher height, because the university has 3 missions.
We shall be coming back to that development, of course. Still on newspaper, Doctor, today a teacher was reported, recently a teacher was reported killed in France by Islamic followers. What do you make of that story?
Mr. Moderator, this issue of is religion. It's a critical issue nowadays. And if you look at, it's not only happening in Europe, and it's happening here in Cameroon also, it's happening in Nigeria, the Boko Harams and so on. So the issue of Islamic religion is an issue where everybody feels that everybody have a sense of belonging. We have an issue of Christian Muslim. So we should denounce that, because I feel that racism is something that is not good, and we must learn how to live together as brothers and sisters. That is the only way. Killing a teacher is so bad, because the teacher is a role model. A teacher is a pillar to the society. A teacher is someone who disseminates knowledge. A teacher is a parent. A teacher is a counselor. A teacher is a facilitator. A teacher is a parent. A teacher is everything to society.
The 48-year-old teacher was alleged to have preached anti-Islamic God sermons, and that it annoyed the student who finally took away his life.
Even if a teacher preached anti-Islamic sermons, it's not the responsibility of people to kill. And I feel that religious tolerance is very important. And it's very important that our teachers all out there should be educated on religious tolerance, because I feel that as a teacher, there's an issue of what we call in education individual differences. People must understand that there is diversity in the classroom. And in the classroom, there are persons from different backgrounds. There are persons from different religion, in terms of Christian, in terms of Muslim, in terms of Hindus, and so on. So there are persons from different races. So you cannot be in the classroom, you abuse a child that you are an albino. You must learn to accommodate. And in education, that is what we call inclusion. Everybody must be included in the teaching learning process. And in the teaching learning process, there's what we call the two-way transaction, the student-teacher relationship, the four-way transaction. You as a teacher must understand issues of diversity in the classroom and know that we live now in a mainstream classroom. And when I say mainstream classroom, I mean that it's a classroom with different personalities in terms of background, in terms of races, in terms of color, and so on. So you as a teacher, you must learn how to accommodate everybody in this inclusive classroom, especially in today, contemporary society of today.
I had his burial ceremony. The French President Emmanuel Macron promised that there will be a national mourning day, and beside that, the Islamic culture in a whole was going to be put to test. They were going to investigate into the narrative of that particular denomination.
I think that investigation has to be done, but we have to. I earlier said here that religious tolerance is very important. And if you look at the Arab Spring, Mr. Moderator, the war today, especially in the Arab world, they are facing a lot of war today because of the Arab Spring. And we must accept religious tolerance. We must, especially in all cultures, you must welcome all cultures. It is very important because we can be talking of intercultures. And it is not good to sabotage people's culture. No culture is a taboo. So you must allow people to practice their religion. And their religion is not a cult, it's not a taboo. And let's say, for example, in our community, on Friday, the Muslim is their church day. You can't stop them from going to worship. On Sunday is the Christian. So I think that people have, even in our constitution, people have the freedom to worship. And it's very important. I know that even in international law, in human rights, so the Islamic world, we should learn how to tolerate them because religious tolerance is very important. And the Islam also, the Muslim also should also know that Muslim, Christian, they are a human race that we should learn how to live together.
Back here in Cameroon, what do you make of the tussle between the club leagues championed by General Pierre Semenge, who is asking FECAFOOT to justify the budget spent for the football year 2019-2020 because from the recent ruling that came from the Commission of Litigation at FIFA, they decided that the championship that just ended was of no effects because it was not ruled. I mean, it was not legal. And now General Pierre Semenge is saying that all those who participated in the just ended Cameroon championship, they were functioning on their own. While FECAFOOT President Seydou Monjoya is saying that we should make sure we economize funding because our players, football should be managed by footballers, and that those who, I mean, civil servants or people who are not so close to football, they should allow football for footballers. What do you make of it?
I want to ask myself whether that general is a footballer, first of all, Mr. Moderator.
No, but he's not.
He's managing football. And that's why I want...
And we know most of our clubs are headed by non-footballers. That one is not a secret.
The truth is that what is killing us is that competent persons, square pegs, are not put in square holes. And that's the issue that is affecting our league system, Mr. Moderator. Even when they want to elect FECAFOOT presidents, we always have problem of power tussle in this country. And you see people belong in groups. And these groups, at the end of the day, they divide and rule. At the end of the day, we have poor administration. We have had that in the past. You can see the period of Tombi, Aroko, and others. Yeah. So the issue here is that the issue of power tussle is very poor, and we should put square pegs in square hole. We have seen situations where footballers want to vie in for positions of responsibility. They are not allowed. We have seen situations even in our national team that our own footballers are not allowed to head our national teams. So we have seen situations where Cameroonians are not even allowed because we want foreigners. So I feel that our leagues are not very competitive. And you and I, on daily basis, how many matches do we watch in our leagues? So we must make that ambience in our league, and we must put people can deliver. We must put people that are role models. We must pick people that have they love football. And I feel that football is something that brings peace in the country. And recently, I've not seen the way Cameroonians love watching their own club footballs.
Doctor, if that motion from General Pierre Semenge is maintained, it means that the Young Sport Academy, YOSA, that is currently the cup champion in Cameroon, will lose his title. What do you make of that?
Mr. Moderator, looking at that, I've earlier said here that Cameroon football has a problem, especially a problem of management. And me as a communicator, I want to say that, and a psychologist, I want to say that our league football already have a weakness because people do not believe in it because of the administration, the conflict, the power tussle. So at the end of the day, I don't see anything very tangible. Look at the chant that is coming up and look at our ready of preparedness. And we were supposed to host the CAN, and it was taken to Ivory Coast. And you saw how the level of infrastructure is still very, very low in our country. So we are pleading on our government even that when we talk of our local football, we have a problem of administration, we have a problem of facilities even. We have a problem of payment of giving bonuses to these teams. They don't even have bonuses. People play football, they don't have financial bonuses. They need bonuses, they need good football stadiums. We don't have them. We don't have those facilities. We must create that ambience in our football system. And if there's no ambience, we'll keep on fighting up and down. At the end of the day, the conflict power tussle will not help anything.
The papers also carried 2 weeks into school resumption amid COVID-19, and you that have been observing this progress into the school year, what can you say?
I want to say that, Mr. Njeuma Siri, education is a necessity. Whether we like it or not, we are living in difficult periods in our country. We are living in a period of chaos in our country, a very challenging period. And all of us are crying for peace on a daily basis. On a daily basis, my objective is advocating for peace. And my advocation for peace is the education of children, because the human rights says that children have the right for education. Even with UNESCO, UNESCO stands for education of children. Even in Afghanistan, where there's war, children still go to school. And we have a very deep problem in our country, the Anglophone crisis, we all know. And the issue here is that we cannot sell the education of our children because of politics. And I want the government of Cameroon to put security, look for security measures where our children can have an enabling environment to go to school. I'm also calling on the non-state actors, the Ambazonians. They have to know that the education of children is very paramount. And on a daily basis, if they are stopping children not to go to school, they'll be migrating to the Francophone areas and they'll get more Francophone culture. And the consequences will still be on the Anglophone who are crying that they want to uphold the Anglo-Saxon culture. And I will be preaching that my problem is in the hinterlands. My problem is in the suburbs. Most schools in the suburbs are not yet open. And I feel that this year, as for this year in higher education, we saw about 7,500 students, especially at the University of Boya, admission, which was an increase. That was a possible increase this year. Meaning that the University of Boya will have new coming students, majority of students will be coming to school this year. That is a positive move. But my problem now is children in villages. That child in Lebi Alem, that child in Bafut, that child in So, that child in Funkankang.
Talking about Bafut, the deputy minister in charge of mine, Dr. Fukadisus, recently gave a scholarship to people of Nongamantum. It was estimated 50% scholarship for students of Form 1 to Form 3. So, example like that have been multiplied, even with the MP of there is a community of Cambe, yes, who gave another scholarship and has always been beside the people. While some critics are coming up to say that, well, these people are looking for cheap popularity. What you as a critic, you as a doctor, a university done, what is your own comment?
Mr. Moderator, I won't critique that parliamentarian from Cambe. He's a young man. He's a young, dynamic young man. I will not call his name for publicity reason, but I want to say that it is the responsibility of every elite, of every Anglophone elite, to encourage young children to go to school. Because if most of these non-state actors who are protecting children not to go to school abroad, if they didn't go to school, they will not have the wisdom, they will not have the knowledge to become activists of today. So they must allow children to gain knowledge, which is a fundamental right of every child to go to school. These children are innocent, even if they are fighting a genuine cause for these children. But allow the children to get basic knowledge, because children who drop out from school, they'll get into deviant behavior. They'll get into prostitution. They'll get into a lot of harassment. So children must go to school, because education is a tool that builds the mind. Education is a tool that shapes behavior. Education is a tool that shapes personality. Because if I do not go to school, Dr. Busi, I will not sit here to educate Cameroonians. Education is a priority. Looking at the scale of preference of young Cameroonians in the Northwest and Southwest, their first scale of preference should be education. We should provide these children with an enabling environment to go to school. And now government is talking of a shift system. And the shift system of education is being practiced already in the Northwest and Southwest in urban schools with population. That is we should tell them that. And the shift system is because of COVID-19 that is dreadful. So that classes can start in the morning and end in the afternoon, so that another group of students come. So we must look for all possibilities to create enabling environment for our young children to go to school. People are not going to school in suburbs because of psychological fear. People are not going to school in many villages today because of psychological fear. It is the responsibility of all members of parliament. They should leave Yaoundé and go to their villages and preach so that children can go to school. It is their responsibilities as member of parliament. We are talking of decentralization. All Lord Mayors who have run away from the Northwest and Southwest, they should go back to their villages and preach school for these young children. All chiefs who are IDPs, they should go back to their villages and preach school. Children must go to school. We should not use war to weaponize the mind of our children because of politics. We should not mix politics with education. Education is a priority. And there is CONAC. CONAC recently came out with a document. And what was CONAC saying? CONAC came out with a document that because of the crisis in Northwest and Southwest, as most children are not going to school, they are migrating to urban schools, the high rate of corruption in schools is too high. Most principals are collecting money from parents, which is not even school fees, because people looking for admission, they collect money before they get admission, especially in the Northwest and Southwest, and even in the friend zone. CONAC have said such principals should be reported, because parents in the Northwest and Southwest are suffering already. Parents in the Northwest and Southwest are living in drastic poverty. The rate of poverty in the Northwest and Southwest is too high. Parents are living a hand-to-mouth life. Any principal that wants to extort money, report to us, report to this TV station. We will call their names here. Parents do not have money. Their children must go to school. Principals, don't collect money. Use some of money from children, especially principals in lay private schools, in mission schools, and even in government schools. It is our responsibility. We will denounce that.
Dr. Busi, before we round up this newspaper review, let's talk about the September the 22nd protests who are now in various detention centers in Cameroon.
Thank you very much, Mr. Njeuma Siri. The September 22nd protest by the MRC party of Professor Maurice Kamto, one of the opposition leaders in Cameroon, he is still under house arrest because his protest, I'll be talking here because you're a member of that political party and you are still the moderator of today, assisting our moderator. Professor Maurice Kamto was asked by the government that he should not go out for protest because he gave authorization, and the government said the protest will not hold. Even the governors of the littoral region and also the governor of the central region denounced his protest. And we feel that power must not be taken by force by Professor Maurice Kamto. Power should be taken through the electoral box. And if Professor Maurice Kamto feels that the electoral code of Cameroon is poor, he was part and parcel of the policy making of the electoral laws in this country and the constitution of this country, I feel that Professor Maurice Kamto must not take power by force. And Professor Maurice Kamto came out by saying that he wants to oust President Paul Biya. You don't go out for a protest by already telling the public that you want to oust a sitting president.
Dr. Busu,
And you will not.
their detention condition.
I will go there, Mr. Moderator. I know that's a political party, but I feel that Professor Maurice Kamto cannot say that he will just sit like that and oust President Paul Biya, and President Paul Biya will sit and wait. You cannot say that you are going out for a protest to oust a sitting president and you are thinking that the sitting president will allow you oust him. But looking at the issue of human rights, I think that every country have, especially the constitution, the preamble of our constitution of the Republic of Cameroon, it stipulates that people have the right for demonstration, public demonstration. And when you look at that of Professor Maurice Kamto, he came out by saying that he wants to oust the president of the republic. That is why I was not part of that. I cannot accept that. You cannot come out for a protest by saying that you want to oust a sitting president, and the sitting president will sit and wait. And for now, I still say that President Paul Biya is the legitimate president of Cameroon. And I want to end by saying that Professor Maurice Kamto was kept under house arrest. And for
He's still under house arrest.
And he's still under house arrest. And for his house arrest, I'll be pleading on the government of Cameroon to do something about that. Because it's his fundamental right he has the fundamental right for movement.
Independent observers at the United Nations came out to call Cameroon authorities to respond faster to the cry of these detainees, because the condition under which they are being detained, especially those at the New Bell prison, is very alarming. And the government, only through the spokesperson, Minister René Emmanuel Sadi, reported that it's only about 300 Cameroonians that are detained. Meanwhile, lawyers of these detainees report close to about 495. Out of, there were 500 and something, and some few have been released so far.
One thing I want to say is that our prison facilities are very poor, and we need to work on that, because I'm a psychologist. When you look at the psychological torture, especially the way people are in our prison, the conditions there are very unfavorable.
We have brought some pictures.
The conditions there are very unfavorable to see the number of young Cameroonians who are in prison in a small room. And I'm calling on our government to look for possible ways, because I feel that the prison is not a place to kill. A prison is a place to rehabilitate the people. And when you look at some of these dungeons, you understand that our prison condition is very deplorable in terms of hygiene, in terms of the living condition of the people. It is very poor psychologically. The stress factor there is very high. And I will be calling on our government also, we should be fast with issues of deliberation, law, litigation. Because there are some of these people in the prison that, look at them sleeping. Look at them, their condition is very deplorable. We need to work on that, because I feel that the prison should be a place where people no matter that they are in prison, everybody have a fundamental human right. And we should not allow them in such, they are human beings. And we feel that life is so sacrosanct, and if we want to rehabilitate these people, we should rehabilitate them in positive conditions, because they are still Cameroonians at the end of the day. But I still feel that their matter should be taken to court as fast as possible, because there is a process in this country whereby our law is very slow. So most of these prisoners, we feel that there are prisoners also in prison without crime. And we feel that there are prisoners in prison with crimes too. But their crimes should be taken at the law court, so that some of their cases could be seen in the law court, so that it can help reduce the number of persons in prison, because some of them are in prison and they don't even know how their tomorrow look like, because of their conditions has not been taken to court. And that's why we say we need an independent executive, judiciary, and legislature in this country so that they can do their job as fast as possible.
Doctor,
the condition of persons in our prison is very, very deplorable. And I'm pleading on the government that they should do something about the condition of persons in the prison, because it has a lot of psychological effect.
Doctor, with your permission, we'll take a break, and when we come back, we shall be talking about the Nigerian SAR effects. Stay with us.